Season 1 went on expected lines. Season 2, well, very few saw the champions coming. What can we expect from Season 3 of the WPL? Who will win WPL 2025 is the question we're asking on ESPNcricinfo Run Order, joined by our panel of women's cricket reporters, Sudarshanan, Valkyrie, Shashank, Shruti. Thank you, everyone, for your time. This is a tournament which has already sparked itself for its unpredictability, because if a team called RCB can win, which, barring Shashank, no one called last season, whether it was a matter of head or heart, is a different subject. It's a great tournament. So why don't we start with RCB? Shruti, defending champions, a tag no one saw attached with that franchise for a long time, but they are coming into the season with quite a few issues.
Yeah, first of all, there's player unavailability issues, and then there are a few injury concerns as well. But I feel the reinforcements are really good. For instance, Kim Garth coming in is actually a good thing for them because she can share new ball duties with Renuka. And I think that's a very big positive for them. And also this time they've brought in a lot of young players into the team. Like during the auction, they've had like 4 youngsters come into the team. And that's not only good for this season, but also the future. So I think they're still very much in fray to make it to the top 3 and also probably defend their title.
I think one of the bigger problems that RCB will face this season is role clarity. And that's a key in a short tournament like this, where if you start to, take a little bit of time to settle in with the respective roles of the younger and replacement players coming in, then you will probably, find your way down the slippery slope very quickly. And RCB have a number of injury issues. As of now, we're told that Shriyanka Patil, who's still at the NCA, hasn't been given a clearance. Asha Shobana, who was one of their key leg spinners last year, she's injured and she's unlikely to play. And we don't know who the replacements are just yet. Those are just 2 key players. Sophie Molyneux, another key player who was excellent across different phases in the innings and also as a batter lower down, she's unavailable. So all the players who are coming in are finding new slots right from at the top of the order, with Danny Wyatt potentially opening with Smriti Mandana. So all the replacement players, they may be good, but again, how do you fit them in? Will you take time to slot them into their respective combinations? So the key for RCB will be to find the slots and try to find this winning combination quickly again, which for a defending champions you'd think would have been a lot easier, but these injuries really haven't helped their cause.
Quite on brand for an RCB team to be entering the season with so many questions, but this is an RCB team that has already bucked their biggest brand. They have won a title. Let's see what they do this season. Well, you've been quiet so far, but you do strongly believe that Mumbai Indians remain the favourites, as they have been in every season so far.
Yeah, I do. And I mean, you just have to look at, in terms of recruiting in the off-season, they've brought in a few young players. So we've got G. Kamalini, she's a 16-year-old wicket-keeper batter, and then a few all-rounders, Akshita Maheshwari and Sanskriti Gupta, as well as Nadine de Klerk from South Africa. Now, de Klerk is the only internationally capped player in that group and the only one aged over 25. So I think their recruitment has been strong for the future potentially, but in terms of this season, I'm not so sure. That said, they didn't really have to recruit that hard this season. Look at the names they've got in their lineup: Harmanpreet Kaur, Amelia Kerr, Nat Sivabrunt, Hayley Matthews, Shabnam Ismail. I mean, that is an absolutely ridiculously good lineup. So I'd be expecting them to challenge again this year. I know they got knocked out in the eliminator last year. It was very close. Their middle order just couldn't get those runs needed off the last couple of overs. I don't think they'll make that mistake again if they're in a similar sort of a situation, and I'd back them to have a good showing again this year.
Yeah, so many all-rounders you already mentioned among the new recruits, and it feels like part of the recruitment policy, right? Because in the 2 seasons, they've been known for their depth. It's like everyone can bat and everyone can bowl.
But I think one of the points that could go against Mumbai Indians this season is, first of all, they are a side that don't like to change a lot. And that explains why Chloe Tran has been with them since the inaugural season, but she's yet to get a game. And they don't have a first, I mean, they hardly changed their first 11, but this time they might have to because of the injury to Pooja Vastrakar. Nobody knows how serious is it, when she's going to come back. Charlotte Edwards, their head coach, in the presser ahead of the season said that they don't know when she's coming back. So they will have to announce something soon. So that is a big jolt to them, because Harmanpreet Kaur loves to go back to Pooja Vastrakar whenever things are not happening, and she makes things happen. So that's a big jolt. And they have a similar kind of player in that new recruit in Akshita Maheshwari. Not a big body of work, of course, but she's young. She could fill in. But yeah, that brings the inexperience into the mix right now.
Yeah, I mean, that's a very fair point, but I guess too, you hinted at it there. Charlotte Edwards as coach, they've got Julan Goswami as bowling mentor. I mean, they have got a wealth of experience off the field as well as on it with Harman and all those other names that I mentioned there. So I think, again, I'd be backing them in terms of depth to be able to cover it, albeit, that would be a big loss if they haven't got Pooja Vastrakar at their disposal. But yeah, I'd back them to have a few plans to deal with it.
All right, so that's the two champions of the WPL done. Believe it or not, neither of them topped the table. So let's move to that side now, because Delhi Capitals, table toppers twice, lost the final twice. Will third time be the charm, Shashank?
Yeah, most definitely. I mean, you look at that team and it's got stability written all over it. I mean, look at the lineup of Indian players. They've got hungry Indian players keen to prove themselves once again. Shefali Verma dropped from the Indian team in a World Cup year. She's doing all the hard yards in domestic cricket, scoring heavily. So she'd be very hungry to prove herself. Shika Pandey, who's gone on to play in the Caribbean with the Knight Riders for Canterbury in New Zealand. She's performing still at 35. She's got, all the makings of a fantastic season coming up. So Jess Jonathan, for example, no longer a regular in the Australian team, but again doing her thing in the BBL, had a great couple of seasons with DC. So she's coming back into the tournament on form. So they've got a set of hungry players keen to prove themselves once again, keen to prove a point possibly. That's number one. The second thing is the cream of Indian talent on display. I mean, you've got someone like a Jemima Rodriguez who's batting at her best right now across formats. You've got Tita Sadhu, who's enhanced her reputation as a Indian quick, who's had that international experience. Arundhati Reddy probably bowled one of the best spells by an Indian fast bowler in women's one-day cricket in Australia a couple of months ago. Radha Yadav, outstanding fielder. And also, may I add, and you can hold me accountable to this maybe 10 years down the line, the signing of Nikki Prasad, who's the under-19 World Cup winning captain. I potentially see this relationship between DC and Nikki Prasad evolving into something like what we've seen with Virat Kohli and RCB over the years. So that's a massive signing for them. A very young player who's got the chops, very mature as well. So they've got this hungry young Indian group who's keen to prove themselves.
Anyone got any counter? Before that, I'll just mention Shashank. I've added Shashank Nikki Prasad to my calendar for February 2035, if I make it till then. Go on, Sudha.
But Shashank, the only question I have against Delhi Capitals is this is a structure that has been kind of constant for the last 2 years. We've been talking about their strengths and the squad strength that should be winning a trophy. And the pattern that we've seen the last 2 seasons where they've gotten knocked out in the final or even whatever jolt they've got is that firepower in that lower order. They had one player in Laura Harris who I thought they underutilized. This squad does not have any power hitter, so to say, down the order. How do they overcome it? How do they get out of a similar situation if they encounter in WPL 2025?
I think one of the issues they've had over the last couple of years is they've had a great keeper in someone like Tanya Bhatia, but she hasn't scored the kind of runs that they would have liked. So they've looked inwards, scouted, and they've brought in Nandini Kashyap, who's got a little more firepower. So she brings with her that ability to hit boundaries and clear the ropes. Having said that, I think they may have to tweak their batting order a little bit now. Jemima Rodriguez has proved herself to be a superb finisher now. So maybe she could be lend that firepower. I know it's very tempting to bat her at number 3 and think that she's going to be your anchor, but she's shown that ability.
Yeah, and there are good omens for the Capitals franchise universe. They finally have a title. The Dubai team won it in ILT 20, ending a long wait for any team associated with the Capitals to win an actual title. Let's focus now on the two teams that didn't make it to the playoffs last time. UP Warriors, Gujarat Giants. Shruti, UP have got their task cut out without Alyssa Healy.
I think they're going to find it very difficult this time because obviously Alisa Healy is not there. And when I just look at their squad, I don't think they have a very solid lineup. I mean, of course, they have Deepti Sharma as their captain this time, and they do have the likes of Chamari Atapattu, and they have the in-form Alana King. But somewhere something is missing.
I think I'll take another route to kind of answering that question, because the first I look at this squad and it reminds me of Rajasthan Royals of 2008 IPL. No massive names, if you so to say, because there's Deepti Sharma who will have to do the heavy lifting for UP Warriors, and they'll need significant contributions from Alana King, who's kind of the spin king, and Sophie Eccleston as well, coming off a weak women's Ashes by her standards, but all these will have to do the heavy lifting for them, and there will be increased reliance on that Indian core. I look at that lineup and see Shweta Sehrawat and Vrinda Dinesh playing key roles. The good sign is that they did well in the domestic season.
One of the challenges that UP will face this season is here comes John Lewis as head coach on the back of an Ashes reversal like no other. So I'm sure it must have taken a lot out of him and the team, the entire campaign and the way it panned out. So can he still remain fresh? Can he still come up with the same intensity that you'd probably see him? That's a big question.
Well, I can promise you, I told them not to bring up women's Ashes, but I guess they couldn't resist the temptation. While we're on the topic of teams that didn't win much, let's move to Gujarat Giants, who have finished bottom of the points table both the times. Can they avoid that dubious three-peat?
Can remember wanting big things for this team at the start of the whole WPL. I can remember that as that was yesterday. But I mean, they've made a couple of changes as well. They've got Ash Gardner in as captain to sort of take the pressure off Beth Mooney, who'll be opening and keeping. So that's something that they've changed up. And again, if you look at international names there, they're pretty good. You've got Phoebe Litchfield, Laura Wolfhart, Deandra Dotton is back. So, I mean, that's some big names just, straight off the bat. But yeah, I guess it's similar to looking at UP. It's got some, a good lineup there, but they just haven't, I guess, been able to pull it all together. I guess in terms of Gujarat, though, I mean, they've got some really big names there. So it's just a case of, I think, getting them to gel as a team.
One of the problems that Gujarat Giants had over the first two seasons was you looked at that unit and you weren't quite sure who was driving the team, because you had like big personalities at the top. Rachel Haynes as coach, Mithali Raj as mentor, and then after the first season, even 5 days before the start of the second season, you quite didn't know who was the coach. And probably a couple of days before the season, we're told that Michael Klinger stepping in and Rachel Haynes is out. And then the coach comes in and has absolutely no time to get settled with or get himself familiarized with the squad. So those dynamics kind of didn't play out the way that they would have liked. And it's not ideal for a coach to be coming in 1 week prior to the season and, expected to hit the ground running. They've kind of ironed out those issues. Mithali Raj is, of course, left now, as is the assistant coach Nosheen Al-Kadi. They've brought in a new setup, and they've had a little bit of time to work with this group.
Cases have been presented, deliberations have been done. It's rapid fire time now. We'll go around the room. Everyone, pick your finalists. Name me your champion. Let's go, Shruti.
It's going to be an RCB versus MI final for me. I think it's going to be Mandana versus Harman, and this time, I think Harman will lift her second trophy.
Shashank.
I'm going Delhi Capitals against Mumbai Indians, and DC breaking the title drought.
Well,
I'm going to go with DC versus Mumbai Indians, but Mumbai to win the title.
Sudarshan.
I'm going DC versus UP Warriors, expecting big things from them, with Delhi Capitals finally ending their title drought in the WPL.
Wow. I don't know if Delhi will actually get a title, but they have quite a few wins here. Almost made it to everyone's final. Unreal. Can't wait for WPL 2025.